Hey guys, happy Sunday, Creator Mom. So, I guess I want to talk about two things, but a update on the house that my stuff is in. It was taken off the market. So, my assumption is that they knew I was correct in that I do get some of the equity from that house and the proceeds, and it was called off. I spoke to another lawyer, and he's like, yeah, I don't see how they're going to sell it without your signature, even if they try to do it like a backhanded way. I don't know. So yeah, the house is off the market. The realtor never responded to me. He never sent me paperwork. So, heard from my ex last night. He sent me some text messages. One that said, you missed out on $35,000 cash because you're immature, believer. And some other choice words in the following messages, such as stupid bitch, etc. Fucking cetera. And he accuses me of adultery or, it's like crazy things. Found my journal, how everyone thinks I'm stupid. So yeah, like basically he, all his words are meant to try to put me down, try to humiliate me, try to scare me, try to make me think I missed out on something, right? And I'm like, lies upon lies upon lies. How are you gonna sit here and tell me that I missed out? Like, I don't miss out on anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's so interesting because he says it's like a 7-year-old messaged me. 7-year-old grabbed their mom's phone and messaged me. He goes, you're stupid for not reading the whole Bible through. Who calls somebody stupid for not reading the whole Bible through? I'm just like, and the funny thing, he's a religious narcissist, and who calls somebody stupid for not reading the whole Bible? He always had that. And there were so many red flags. But I remember in the beginning of a relationship, he really put me down for not having read the whole Bible through, and he prided himself upon being a more mature Christian than me because he read the whole Bible through. And I was like, whoa, that was a red flag for me because we met in the grace movement, right? And I'm like, if you're not legalistic, how are you talking like this right now? Like, I don't understand. Like, where we met is not being reflected in what you're saying, like what your beliefs are here. Well, anyways, he's better than me. He prides himself on shit, like he prides himself on not giving his ex-wife shit. Amy, oh, she got nothing. He prides himself on this stuff, and it would be really amazing to, have a divorce and actually receive a portion of what would be legally mine from this guy because of how he boasts on cheating people out, He hates women, I feel like. Christian women, especially. Excuse me. So, I'm just kind of in the process of like thinking about, hiring or getting a lawyer. So that's what I'll be meditating on and researching. I saw a movie last night called Mother's Instinct. And I was like, I could have sworn I seen this movie a long time ago, but it said it came out in 2024. And I'm like, that is so weird. Like, I've seen this. I've probably seen the concept in another movie. I don't know. Or maybe my eternal self fucking saw it and I felt, Anyways, so in this movie, I wouldn't recommend watching it, but what I did grasp from this movie is how we are gaslighted out of our intuition. We gaslight ourselves, first of all, because of the reasoning mind. The reasoning mind will try to gaslight you out of the spirit, out of your intuition. It will steal the seed, like the devil. And it will gaslight you out of what you know in your heart to be true. You'll be like, well, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just crazy. You know what I'm saying? And the other person will, if there is another person involved, they will tell you that you're crazy, that it's you, but your intuition knows something's off. It knows that there's like an agenda here, but you disregard it because you don't want to seem like crazy or whatever, And that's exactly what this movie presented. It was two couples. They lived next door to each other, and they were really good friends. And the one lady was gardening in her backyard, and she looked over to her friend's house and saw her friend's son, who's probably like 8, 9, 10, on the patio, really high up, trying to put a birdhouse up on the tree. But she was like, oh my God, like he was on the edge. Like, she was like, get back, you can fall, get back, get off, you can fall, She was trying to yell out to him. She was trying to save him. So she ran as fast as she could, because he wasn't listening to her. She ran as fast as she could into her friend's house. First she banged on the door, but they're friends. I think they could, then the friend wasn't answering because she was vacuuming. The friend was vacuuming and wasn't paying attention to the son. But of course, who pays attention to their 8 or 9-year-old 24/7? Oh, I'm staring at you. No, she's thinking he's upstairs in his room and she's just vacuuming. So the friend comes in, she busts through the door because her friend wasn't answering. She busts through and she runs up the stairs to try to save this kid from falling off the porch. Friend gets out into the porch, the balcony, and looks down. The kid had fell already. The kid dies. So what happened is both the friends have a son the same age, and they were best friends. So she has to break it to her son, hey, that his friend died. He fell in a bad accident. Well, the story goes on, and Anne Hathaway plays one of the characters. She does a really good job. So Anne Hathaway's character, she's the character whose son died. The friend begins to suspect that Anne Hathaway's character is up to no good because she's doing inappropriate things, but see, her intuition is saying, man, something's wrong here. But her husband was like, you're crazy, like, stop trying to think that our friend is trying to kill our son or trying to do something. But she was like, what happened was that her mother-in-law, it's a long story, and I don't really want to get into all the details, but there were specific things that Anne Hathaway's character was doing, kind of like trying, and like the lady's son was allergic to peanuts, couldn't have cookies with nuts or nothing, right? So a while after Anne Hathaway's son had died, they come over to their house, just to visit with them, the lady and her husband. And Anne Hathaway's character puts some snacks on the table. Oh, here, guys, here's some snacks. And right in front of the kid, she puts cookies that have nuts in them. Oh, she's like, oh, why did you put those there? She's like, oh, I know he can't have those here. I put carrots out too, have the carrots. But it was just shit like that. Or she was just doing inappropriate things, but they were subtle. But a mother can pick up on that. But the husband and people around might be like, you're reading into it too much. You're crazy. You're coming up with a story in your mind. So Anne Hathaway's character tells the kid, oh, just go into the kitchen. You'll find something over there on the counter that you could eat you're not allergic to. She left cookies with more cookies, peanut butter cookies or something, like on the counter. And the kid ate them because when kids can't have something, it makes them even more curious about what it will taste like. You know what I'm saying? Like, she left that there. And the mother figured that Anne Hathaway's character did it on purpose, but her husband was like, you're crazy. So the kid ended up having an anaphylactic reaction. They had to take him to the hospital, etc. And then Anne Hathaway's character ends up killing her husband. The whole point is Anne Hathaway's character was trying to kill everybody so that she can take her best friend's son. This is how fucked up she got in her grieving process over losing her son. She blamed it on her best friend, right? And then wanted to take her best friend's kid. There were other messed up scenes that were red flags that showed what Anne Hathaway's character was trying to do, which the mom picked up on, but nobody believed her. And because nobody believed her, and it would have cost her too much to act on her intuition. Like, her husband was like, I'll get you locked up. You know, this, and the movie takes place back in the day. You know, it's probably like the 60s or something. All right. So when the women were a lot more submissive, if you will. I don't even know if that's the correct word, but you know, when the woman greets you at the door and they take your suitcase and they take off your jacket for you, you know, like that. And I feel like the men had more power over. So that was like, oh shit, I don't want to get locked up. They're going to put me on meds, put me in a psych ward. They're going to say I'm crazy. Anne Hathaway's character, when she killed her husband, the best friend didn't know that she killed her husband, but the best friend found out something that relieved her of any doubts that Anne Hathaway's character had malintent. She knew so when Anne Hathaway's character's husband died, the best friend said let her stay at her house for a night, you know, because her best friend's husband just killed himself, right? So she lets her stay. And then I think the other character goes back to Anne Hathaway's house to get something for her, maybe some clothing or something. Anyways, she finds something, like I said, that makes her sure to know that Anne Hathaway's character does have malintent. She runs back to her house because she's like, oh shit, she's there with my kid. Anne Hathaway's character already poisoned her husband. He was dead. And she put the kid to sleep with that stuff that people put over your mouth to breathe in and you pass out. She made the kid pass out. And Anne Hathaway's character ends up killing her best friend too. And then nobody knows, she got away with it. Then they show them at the scene, Anne Hathaway and the best friend's child at a lawyer's office. The lawyer saying, do you want this woman to be your adoptive mom? Little kid says yes. Boom. Anne Hathaway's character gets away with everything, scot-free, and walks away with this kid. So this is how she handled her grief. By stealing her best friend's kid. So it's crazy. I think in the movie they show Anne Hathaway grieving when her son died. And then they show her like she kind of was getting better. And I feel like the point where she seemed like she was getting better was the point where she made up in her mind the plan that she had to do this. And that's why she was feeling better. She felt like she had resolved her grief because she had a plan for what she was going to do to make everything better in her world, you know? Really sad. Really sad. Because the mom knew. She knew intuitively that her friend got messed up in the head. But she was not able to follow through fast enough. Like before Anne Hathaway killed her husband, the best friend's husband, she told her husband, I want to move away. Let's get away for the sake of our child, because it's not healthy for him to live next door to her. You know, his best friend died. The husband at first was like, oh, you're crazy. But then he was like, you know what? We can move. There's actually an opening here, blah, blah, blah. Like, we'll move. And they were just about to move away from this lady. But she struck and got everything, you know? So it's just like, man, it just like kind of like shows you that we need, I don't know, like we need to act on our intuition. You know what I'm saying? Maybe no matter the cost, or no matter what we think it's going to cost, because it's not going to cost as much as if we don't follow the intuitive leading and guiding. So, not a very positive story, but I did glean that from it. So yeah. Have you seen the movie? What are your thoughts? Share them down below. And I hope you have a wonderful freaking Sunday.